When you watch movies or TV in English, do you think to yourself, oh, they're speaking so fast? Or, I can understand my teacher, why can't I understand this? Or, I still need subtitles after years of learning English. Let's fix that today so you can understand fast English speakers the first time. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. To understand fast English, you need to practice listening to fast English. So that's what we'll do right now. You're going to listen to a sentence I say 3 times, and you need to write down exactly what you hear in the comments. Don't worry, after I'll explain everything you need to know. Here's our first sentence. I'll say it 3 times. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. So how'd you do? I said, keep your eyes peeled for the street. Now let's talk about those pronunciation changes. Keep your eyes peeled. Your can sound very unstressed. Your. Keep your eyes. Keep your eyes. And notice how your and eyes link together. You're going to hear that R sound on both sides of the word if we link them. Your eyes, your eyes. So the second word, instead of eyes, really sounds like rise because it has that R. But you have to say it together. Your eyes, your eyes. And of course, peeled, that ED is a soft D. Keep your eyes peeled, peeled. And for also becomes very unstressed, fur. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. Now notice you hear that R the most in the word street. Make sure you get that R sound, street. Now, do you understand what this means? To keep one's eyes peeled is an idiom. It means to stay alert and watch carefully. So carefully watch for the street so we don't miss it. Now you could say keep your eyes peeled for the client. Notice you use that preposition for and then something or someone. You can keep your eyes peeled, watch carefully for someone, the client. Now in this example, it's the imperative, which is used for an instruction or a direction. I could also say to you, keep your eyes peeled for any opportunities to practice your English. So remember, for and something, and in this case, the something is any opportunities to practice English. Watch carefully. So are you going to keep your eyes peeled for that? If you are, put that's right, put that's right in the comments. Now let's look at this sentence. She kept her eyes peeled for the trail markers during the hike. So remember, you need to conjugate your verb keep. In this case, it's the past simple, kept. She kept. And you have to make sure the possessive matches the subject. The subject is she, so it's her eyes peeled.
If you're ever in the neighborhood, keep your eyes peeled.
So keep your eyes peeled for the headlines that will bring it.
So while I don't have answers for you here, keep your eyes peeled.
Let's do this exercise again. I'll say it 3 times. Are we still on for tonight? Are we still on for tonight? Are we still on for tonight? Did you hear what I said? I said, are we still on for tonight? Notice how still and on link together, and you'll hear that L sound on. So it will sound like still on, still on, still on. Again, for can become fur, still on for tonight, da-da. So notice that syllable stress, the first syllable is unstressed, so to becomes that unstressed ta, and the night is your stressed syllable, tonight, da-da, tonight. Now, what does this mean? Well, this means that we made plans, and I'm confirming that our plans are still happening. So this expression is used socially shortly before plans, maybe the day before or the night before, to confirm the person isn't going to cancel that plan. They're still going to go, to show up. So you could say, are we still on for lunch? Now notice for something. In this case, lunch is the plan we have. Now, you can use any time reference. You can say for lunch today, this afternoon, or tomorrow. And this is an alternative to simply asking, are we still having lunch today? So that's the activity, and then I can say, are we still on for lunch? Now, if the activity is known, I can simply say, are we still on for tomorrow if it's known that we're having lunch? So you can just use the time reference. You could also say, are we still on for studying English tomorrow? So the activity is studying English. Now, if I send you a text message and say, are we still on for tonight? You could reply back and say, yup, which is a casual way of saying yes, yup, can't wait. So show some enthusiasm. Or you can say, absolutely, see you at 7 p.m.
You're questioning, are we still on? The confident woman assumes that you're still on.
I'm great, thanks. Are we still on for the kayak trip?
Oh, you bet. I have the kayaks and the equipment.
Are you enjoying this lesson? If you are, then I want to tell you about the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my premium training program where we study native English speakers from TV, movies, YouTube, and the news so you can improve your listening skills of fast English, expand your vocabulary with natural expressions, and learn advanced grammar easily. Plus, you'll have me as your personal coach. You can look in the description for the link to learn more, or you can go to my website and click on Finally Fluent Academy. Now let's continue with our lesson. Let's try this exercise again. I'll say the sentence 3 times. Is the museum walkable? Is the museum walkable? Is the museum walkable? Ooh, did you get this one? Is the museum walkable? So let's talk about the pronunciation for museum. Z. So notice you have that voiced Z sound, museum. And there are 3 sounds, museum, museum, museum. And then the word that maybe you're not familiar with, walkable, walkable. So here there are 3 sounds, walkable. So notice that and then bull. It's not able, it's walkable, walkable. Now let's talk about a very useful word for you to know, to be walkable. So this means that something is close enough to be able to comfortably walk to the location. So is the museum close enough that we can walk there and not be exhausted or sweaty or feel really bad after we get there? Is the museum walkable? So if I send you a message and say, are we still on for lunch today? You could reply back and say, absolutely, but I only have 30 minutes. What's walkable? What's walkable? So what can we walk to quickly because we're short on time? Or I could say a new Thai restaurant opened last week, but I don't think it's walkable. So you can use I don't think, but to make walkable negative, remember it's the verb to be. So you would say, but it's not walkable, or it isn't walkable. There are 2 ways to form that contraction in the present simple. Walkable can be used in a different way, so listen to this sentence. One thing that makes New York City unique is how walkable it is. Most residents don't even own cars. So in this case, walkable is used to describe a geographical area. It can be a small area such as a neighborhood or a large area such as a city, and it means that it's easy to walk in that area.
It's walkable on top of our residential and commercial uses.
These are very different. These are in downtowns, walkable space, no drive-throughs.
They're banal, they're not sustainable, they're not walkable, they're certainly not beautiful.
Let's try this again. I'll say it 3 times. Let's head out early to beat the traffic. Let's head out early to beat the traffic. Let's head out early to beat the traffic. Did you get this one? I said, let's head out early to beat the traffic. Notice how head out combine together to sound like head out, doubt. So you hear that D sound on out, head out, head out. In the word early, you want that long R as well. Early. You want to make sure you hear that R. Early. Now, to beat, because to is a preposition, it becomes unstressed. To beat. To beat. And then traffic, you don't want to hear the R, you want to hear the vowel. Traffic. Traffic. And then beet is the same pronunciation as the vegetable beet. Now, do you know what the phrasal verb to head out means? Native speakers love using this phrasal verb. It means to leave a place or start a journey. So someone could ask you, what time are you heading out? What time are you leaving? But it's whatever place you're at. If you're at your home, it means your home. If you're at work or a restaurant, it means those locations. And then you can reply back and say, I'm heading out in the present continuous. I'm heading out around 6:30 a.m. so I can beat the traffic. Now notice here, I said, so I can beat, but in my example sentence originally, I said to beat the traffic. This is the short form of the purpose clause, in order to beat the traffic, but native speakers generally drop in order and just say to beat the traffic. Now, native speakers also commonly start sentences with a purpose clause. To beat the traffic, let's head out at 6:30 a.m. Remember, this means in order to beat. This is a purpose clause, it's not the infinitive. Because in English grammar, we don't start sentences with the infinitive. To make a general statement, you would use the gerund verb. For example, beating the traffic in New York City is always a challenge. Of course, to beat the traffic, this means to avoid the traffic. And if you beat it, it means you get ahead of it. So you leave earlier or later to avoid it. You could also just take specific streets to beat the traffic, to avoid the traffic.
Everybody, let's head out to our areas.
Let's head out into the rainforest and see how she's doing.
Let's head out to the lake. I'll show you around.
Let's do this exercise again. I'll say it 3 times. I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. Did you get this one? I said, I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. Let's talk about to get a little, because those sounds really blended together. To get a little, to get a, to get a. So to becomes that unstressed ta, get a combines together, get a, to get a, to get a. Now little, native speakers, including me, generally pronounce the T's as soft D's. Little, little. Some native speakers really reduce this word and it just sounds like lil, lil, get a lil, get a lil. But you can pronounce those as soft D's. Get a little, little, get a little, to get a little. And then shut eye, we turn that T into a soft D because it's between vowels, and you'll hear it on both words. Shut eye, die, die, shut eye, shut eye. Now what is shut eye? It's a noun and it means sleep. So you can say, I tried to get some shut-eye, a little shut-eye, a few minutes of shut-eye. You could replace shut-eye with sleep in all those examples on the break. Now, shut-eye is commonly used for a short period of sleep, such as a nap. For example, he managed to get some shut-eye on the plane. Now notice the verb is get, so you could say he got in the past simple. He got some shut-eye on the plane. And notice that preposition I used with break, on a break. You could also say during a break. Native speakers commonly use on. And of course, a break in the context of work is a short period of time when you're not working. You can say, I called my friend on my break to see, in order to see, so the purpose clause, to see if we're still on for coffee after work. Now you could also say, hopefully I can get a few minutes of shut-eye before we meet. I'm exhausted.
Let's get some shut-eye. New studies show that those who are under stress and don't get enough shut-eye could age up to 6 times faster than they would otherwise, giving a whole new meaning to the term beauty rest.
For others, losing shut-eye can result in hormonal imbalance, illness, and in extreme cases, death.
Now let's do a shadowing exercise so you can repeat after me and practice all these pronunciation changes. I'll say each sentence and you need to repeat after me. And I'll say each sentence 3 times. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. Keep your eyes peeled for the street. Are we still on for tonight? Are we still on for tonight? Are we still on for tonight? Is the museum walkable? Is the museum walkable? Is the museum walkable? Let's head out early to beat the traffic. Let's head out early to beat the traffic. Let's head out early to beat the traffic. I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. I tried to get a little shut-eye on the break. Amazing job. Do you want me to make another lesson where we practice fast English? If you do, put yes, 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 put yes, yes, yes in the comments below. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And here's another lesson I know you'll love. Watch it now.